Oh, yeah, well, everybody remembers the SpongeBob one.
Yes, where you're literally just playing with his freaking nose.
Which, I mean, honestly, that one's probably one of the most hilarious ones ever.
Oh, yeah. It's very, like, tame.
There's also the
not
Spider-Man one that's incredibly...
phallic?
Suggestive. Yeah.
That's just the best way to describe it. Yeah, the Spider-Man one was like... It's just like, no. Like, who designed this? Like,
they got... See, whenever I think of the Spider-Man one, I think of JonTron's video.
Yeah. No,
because it was very prominent.
There was also, there was a, what was it? There was a... What's the other anime you really like? I'm brain farting. Not Fruits Basket. It's very popular. Dragon Ball. There was a Dragon Ball one. And the control was...
How did you forget Dragon Ball?
I was just... No, it's just like... It wasn't that I was forgetting. It's just like, you know, like when you're like thinking of something really hard and like it just like it won't come to your mind and you know what it is, but like...
Yeah.
It just won't... It won't come in. But the controller was the little dragon. And I just like... I saw that and I was like, that just doesn't look comfortable. Like, who would want to grip
No, most
that?
of them
like,
weren't.
Most
of them weren't.
That's the funniest thing about them.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Gaming and Collecting Podcast. On this episode, me and Alex are going to be taking a look at the fascinating world of plug-and-play video games, including those old, like, TV sports games, the little joysticks with all the old arcade titles, and even karaoke machines and other one-off standalone games that were kind of a cool thing back in the early 2000s. And then we'll cap it all off by talking a little bit about microconsoles and their interesting place in the new modern era of gaming. It's pretty interesting, and it's going to be a trip. But anyways, guys, thanks again for joining us as we discuss the games that shaped us. It's Plug and Play time. Let's go. So, how you been?
I feel like I'm catching a cold.
Well, that's not good. That's not
Whoa,
good at all.
you just went complete robot there. Oh no.
Okay.
Oh, are you back? Alright, he's not a robot anymore, guys. Don't worry.
You realize they're not going to be able to hear this.
I know, but I can hear it, and you were a robot.
Yeah, and it makes you sound like you're just talking to yourself.
I am. I'm delirious. I'm real tired, and I definitely feel like I'm getting sick. But we're persevering and we're casting. We're podcasting.
You're tired on the podcast? Call me surprised.
Shut the fuck up, you little bitch. Fight me. Fight. Oh, I got like a story to tell, but I'll wait.
Okay.
Well, no. You tell. I already talked about me, so talk about how you're doing first, and then I'll say my story.
You talked about you? Oh yeah, you're getting
I don't
sick.
feel good.
This week happened.
Wow.
Yeah, that's about it.
Nothing.
I finished reviving the YouTube channel, so all the podcasts are up to date there now.
Nice.
Other than that, I have to blame Alex for getting me addicted to Bar Rescue.
What season are you on?
4, I think.
Season 4. I think I was on like season 8, so you gotta catch up. Chop chop.
There's only 8 of... No, there's only 6 on Paramount Plus.
Wait. No, there's more. I feel like I've watched so much more. Maybe I'm just losing my mind. Alright, I'm just going crazy.
Season 3 is like 30-something episodes.
Okay, maybe... Alright, then maybe we're at the same time, and I just thought I was on 8 seasons. Because of how many... Alright, what was the last episode you watched? Let's see if we're on the same.
I can't remember.
I don't believe you.
Oh no, it was the one. It was the one that was the 3 really dweeby guys that were just getting taken advantage of by a biker gang.
Oh, I'm past that. I've been a while past.
Yeah, but I haven't been watching I don't watch it religiously. I watch it when I have nothing else to do.
Okay. So I must be far on season.
See, I got to the I got to the O-Face episode, and I was so disgusted with humanity that I didn't watch the show anymore for a while.
Oh, you want to hear what makes that even worse, though?
I know.
Yeah, the owner ended up being a pedophile.
I don't think it was pedophile. I think it was rapist.
No, it was pedophile.
I read he just... I don't want to... Let's not...
Alright, well, womp womp.
They were all pieces of shit.
They're still open. They're somehow still open to this day.
So's the bikini bar.
Yeah.
But anyways, enough about bar rescue. What was your story?
Oh, okay. So, I've told the podcast about my ongoing registration hubbub and my title and all that fun stuff.
It's still going on.
Well, so I finally got the registration, and I learned that the Connecticut registration is much different than the Massachusetts registration. It looks different.
As most... Yep.
So, when I got it, it kind of... So, it has, like... It's basically just, like, a little bar paper. And then the rest is just, like, kind of the billing information. So, when I got it, it looked like a bill that I had to pay. And I was like, oh, but I just paid, like, $150 already to just get the initial registration. I was like, what? So, I was, like, freaking out. So, I emailed them, and it took them, like... so long to email them, and I don't think they understood what I was talking about, so I kind of gave up on that. And then I just called someone. So I'm calling the lady, and she's like, well, yes, you have to pay it, but so the money that it wanted me to pay is to renew my registration. So I have a registration, and it's to renew it for the year 2025. But my dumbass was looking at it and going, do I need to pay this in order to, like, have the registration? So, I'm on the phone with the lady, and I'm just, like, yeah, she's put me on hold a couple times, because, like, I don't think she knows what I'm talking about, and I don't know what I'm talking about. And then eventually, it all clicked to me, and I was just like, oh, so she gets back from hold, and I was like, I explained it to her, and then she's like, yes, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm a fucking dumbass, and I just say that out loud on the phone, like, just, like, out that, and the lady was dying. She just immediately started laughing for a good solid 2 minutes, and she was like, you just made my day, sweetie, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I don't know why I said that out loud. So I called called myself a dumbass to the person at the DMV. So if you're listening out there, if you ever hear this, you are so nice to me and me being so stupid. So thanks for helping me.
So we've learned that, unlike Massachusetts, the Connecticut RMV actually has people with personality.
Yeah, I guess so. She was really nice.
I've never had a positive experience at the RMV.
Yeah, the same. But that was probably the most pleasant experience I've had at the RMV, DMV, whatever it is. But yeah, so I made someone's day by calling myself a dumbass on the phone, and she lost it in laughter.
Yeah. I'm sure our mother will be proud.
Yeah, well, I was kind of being stupid, but it looks different from the Massachusetts one, so I was like, but it's all good. So I'm registered until 2025. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure whenever I move to another state, I'll have to deal with the same thing.
Oh, yeah, so. And Massachusetts makes it really difficult, so yay!
Well, I'll know in advance.
Yes.
Then I have 2 cars.
Yeah, probably have to sell one.
No, I'll make it work.
Good luck with that. Oh, I'll drive it for you wherever you want it to go. I'll drive the Mustang. I'll drive either one.
Yeah.
Which one would you prefer?
Yeah, okay.
I'll get it there real quick.
No. That's not even a thing in the current stratosphere right now, anyways.
Wow, you're so rude.
Moving on.
Anyway.
Are you drinking tonight? Or
I
no?
am, and it's only with the goal of getting rid of it. So you say yours first.
I am drinking, and I did an old grab something random off the shelf, and I'm drinking a Two Roads blueberry lemon gose sour beer.
Oh, that actually sounds pretty good.
It's okay.
Just okay.
It's not bad. Huh. I don't hate it, so that's a good sign.
It's pretty good.
I'd get it again.
I am drinking a 1911 established Break and Skiff Apple Orchard Honeycrisp Premium Small Batch Hard Seltzer. And just to tell everyone, I can see her panties. We're giving me an upskirt view, Bill. I didn't appreciate that.
They're gonna be like, what the fuck?
For those who don't know, Bill just held up his mini Kagome figure, but the way he had it was literally just giving me an upskirt, and I was just like, why are you showing me?
I'm surprised you could see anything through this piece of shit webcam.
I mean, like, you had it really up close, and it was just like I could see up her skirt because of how you were holding it. But anyways, as you so kindly...
You're observant.
It was right in my face, Bill. I could literally, you had it basically pointed at her crotch, Bill.
This is a train wreck.
Anyways, as you were interrupting me, I'm drinking this cider, and I can confirm it still smells like eggs. Oh, it's so good. I drank it too soon after smelling the eggs, so the egg smell was like in my, and I just thought of eggs, and I choked a little bit. I'm also getting sick. I think I've said this already.
The continuous saga of the eggs.
The eggs. After this, I have one more, and then they're gone.
You should just chug them both and then just pass out.
For every sip of cider, I must drink some water to wash it down with. It's like my chaser. It's my cider chaser. My egg cider chaser. So if you're still listening after this train wreck of oh my god! Bill, I gotta look for one of these things we're talking about. I gotta look and sell it. There's one for sale for $100.
In the box or by itself?
By itself. It's a collectible, Bill.
Yeah, but is there any more, or is that the only? Is there any more? Or is that the only one?
Okay, there's multiple, but you know, I'm still selling it.
Alrighty then. Anyways, so we do have a topic of sorts, I guess you could say.
Do. What is it?
So, back in the day, not everyone could afford a game console.
No.
Or even a Game Boy. So sometimes you had to go with what you could afford.
Yep.
And in a lot of cases, it was a plug-and-play.
Yes. Don't Google that.
Yeah. A plug-and-play video game.
Yeah, Google system. That. Google that.
So, for anyone who doesn't know, which is probably like... I doubt anybody that listens to this podcast, but a plug-and-play is essentially a portable little video game device, usually in the shape of a controller or a joystick of sorts.
Yes.
That usually runs off batteries.
Yes.
And plugs directly into your television set, usually with AV.
Yes.
And what they usually are is they're either one designated game or a set of a number of games. Sometimes they're bootlegs.
Yeah.
Other times they're legit. They're licensed. And they were kind of the alternative back in the day. And most of the best ones were made by a company called Jack Specific.
Yes.
They still make a lot of them these days.
Yeah.
And I remember we had a good fair share of these things.
Oh, yeah. Really good.
Because they were very... You were going to say?
I would say we have a good amount.
Yeah. Because they were a great birthday/Christmas present.
Yeah.
Because they were cheap a lot of the times.
They were cheap and they were easy to set up. All you had to do is just plug them right into the TV, hence plug and play.
Yeah, and we still had trouble doing it because we could never figure out what channel to get the damn thing on. even though it was
Yeah.
just AV. Parents and children always seem to struggle with this shit. I don't know why.
It's just that age. Because the kids are too young to realize it, and the parents are too
Confused.
So, it's just a combo of disaster.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, I'm trying to think back. Because we had a couple of these things.
Yes. I know I had
I remember
three
the
in
shortest-
particular.
You had your own, but we also had a couple that
Shared.
were just kind of like shared. I know one of them didn't last particularly long because it was cheap.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was basically just an Atari joystick. But I don't think it was a legit, like, one of the Jack-specific ones that was licensed.
I think it was a bootleg.
Yeah, because this thing broke real fast.
Yeah. One thing...
But I remember it had like really cheap Pong on it, and like not quite Pac-Man and like Space Invaders sort of.
all these just knockoff versions of like popular games.
Which I'm actually shocked that they changed anything, because a lot of the times these systems just put legit like actual like licensed hardware on it.
Yeah, most of them do just like copy over what's already been made. They don't even try and
I
change.
tried to find a picture of this thing, and I couldn't find one anywhere, which is another theme that we're going to have with this discussion.
Yes.
But I'm assuming there was a lot of knockoff Atari joystick plug-and-plays out there.
I'm assuming there wasn't a lot of documentation for them at the time as well. You know, like any...
That or they were illegal, and that's why they worked.
Yes, that could be very possible.
Well, because when you type in Atari plug-and-plays, you'll get either the Atari flashbacks, which are we'll get into those a little bit later, or you'll get like the Jack-specific Atari controller thing.
Yeah.
But I remember that one mostly just because of how much of a disappointment it was.
Yep.
And then another one I remember specifically was I had this Beyblade plug-and-play.
Oh, I remember that.
And it was literally a Beyblade, like the little... It was like you had the toy where you had like the little launcher, like...
Yep.
The actual like launcher thing. And you actually put like the pull cord in it.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd pull the cord, and then it had like a little knob that you used to steer the Beyblade around in-game, and then there was a trigger down below that you'd use to like give it energy, like to move. It was basically like a battle simulator kind of thing, plus it kind of was like Marble Madness at times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I remember it being fun. I still have it. I should really pull it out at some point and see if it still works.
Is it look almost like a little gun? Like almost like a gun shape? I'm looking at pictures of it right now. I totally remember this. My God, that's
because
so
I
funny.
played the hell out of that thing back in
I
the day.
remember you playing that a lot. Oh my God. I remember
'Cause, I mean,
Beyblades too in general.
Beyblades were probably the most dangerous thing, I think, from back in our day.
Yeah. Well, they were just spiky spinning tops.
Yes.
Spiky spinning tops that you flung across the floor and hit other children with. Oh my God, I sound like I smoke cigarettes. Hello, can you give me some?
Anyways, anyways, Beyblades were banned from schools very fast,
Yes.
and mostly because kids like to launch them not the proper way.
No. Just fling them at other kids. Oh, I don't smell like I don't sound like a chain smoker anymore, just to let you know.
Noted.
This podcast
But
is
anyways,
going wonderfully, isn't it, everyone?
it's going somewhere.
It's going.
But anyways, another plug and play was probably one that you were probably more familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go into your discussion now?
Ah, yes. This one actually I found was actually very popular too. So I'm pretty certain some people know. It was called Dream Life. It was basically this game. It had like this creepy like Bratz doll art style. I'm pretty certain it had. And Bratz or Barbie art style, kind of a mix in between, and it was like this little circle, and then inside it had like the holder for the remote, and you plugged it in, and you basically played with like this little TV remote, and I played the shit out of it. I played that non-stop. It was like...
Well, because wasn't it like you'd go to like malls and then buy things?
Yeah,
and...
so it was like you could go to a mall, a school, a salon, your house, and then your best friend's house, and then a rec center. You could basically do little tasks, and I think it was like you made friends, you made outfits, there was like mini games at the mall and stuff, and then I believe it also like changed seasons too. Like you played it, I don't remember if like it had a certain like, I remember replaying it a lot, so I think it had a set story or you're supposed to hit set goals at least, and then once you hit those goals,
I love how Wikipedia refers to it as a role-playing game.
Well, technically you were role-playing, so it's Dream Life.
Oh, and there was an updated version called Dream Life Superstars.
Yes, there was. I did not have Dream Life Superstars, but I had Dream Life.
Oh god, I looked at the box. That art style is terrifying.
Yeah, wasn't it? Doesn't it look like a mix of like a Bratz doll, but also a Barbie kind of like mix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at the title screen. Oh yeah, it did have seasons because I'm looking at the title screen.
Yeah.
Now. Oh god, I remember all of this because you used to play this nonstop.
I know. I played so much, and like
it was kind of like browser-based Sims.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. Well, because you made relationship with people, and then you like could buy and dress up your character in different outfits and hair and customize them. And there was like certain events and stuff. I think you could go on dates, but you could also just hang out with your friends and stuff. It was a time. It
reminds me of those old like simulation games you'd find on like Newgrounds.
Oh yeah,
back in the day.
No, definitely.
Only significantly less dirty.
Yes. Well, yes, yeah. Oh, I thought you were playing that was more dirty for a second, and like I misunderstood that. But yes, no, significantly more child friendly. But that was something I played like non-stop. It was. I remember investing so many times, like, because I remember you had, like, a set, it was, like, a set, so I don't know if it had, like, a story exactly, but, like, there was, like, an ending, and I think it was, like, you ended up, like, dating your boyfriend, you ended up, like, going out with your boyfriend or something like that, because I played it multiple times over, like, I just restarted it. I gotta find it again and just play it for shits and giggles. I just think that would be funny. But
record a let's play.
Yeah, let's play. I'm gonna let's play an old game. What?
You can probably find an emulation of it online too these days.
I bet you could. I wouldn't be surprised. But honestly, I had a great time playing it. It was pretty fun. So
good old Hasbro.
Good old Hasbro. Hasbro. Do you has my bro?
So what was the other one that Hasbro made that you also had?
Well, so I had another one that they made too, but I don't nearly remember this one as much as the other.
I have a feeling the reason that you got this one was because of how much you played the other one.
I believe, yes. So I believe I got this one. I believe that's exactly it. So this one was called Designer's World, and this was more fashion focused. And I believe it was like you got to design outfits and have fashion shows and put people in have people model it, and I think it was just design their hair. I basically think it was it was taking the dress up aspect of Dream Life and just making that into a game itself, with more customization options. And I think
I'm gonna guess though it was extremely basic, and that's why it didn't hold your attention.
Well, I think that had to do with it, but I also think what definitely had to do with it too was that I think by the time I had gotten when this one came out, I believe I had gotten my Nintendo DS. So I believe my video game focused more towards that.
I was gonna say, because honestly, on paper, this sounds like something you'd be obsessed with, because you were Miss Addicted to Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer.
Yes, I still love that game. It's so fun.
You're one of the few.
Yeah, I liked it for what it was. I went in knowing that it wasn't going to be a full-on Animal Crossing game. It's just designing houses and that's what I came for it, and that's what I signed up for. So I had a great time. To everyone else,
you hate the other one.
Well, that's just dumb. That's completely different. It's not. No one signed up for that. It's not even fun. No one signed up for that. Anyways. Yeah. So.
Do you want to talk about your special TV that you used to play on too?
Oh yes. So my TV that I had was. I'm sure many other people had these, but do you remember those classic Disney TVs where it was like the square and it had the two circles as the two ears, Mickey Mouse ears as speakers, and it sat right on top? Well, I had the princess version, which was like pink with like little lilac-y purple ones.
What's weird is though I think you had a rarer one because I've seen the Disney Princess TV all the time, which has like a princess crown on top.
Yeah.
Of it. I've rarely ever seen the Minnie Mouse they're lighting off fireworks again.
I think I might have had like an earlier model, and then they moved it to the princess crown because it made more sense to be a princess crown where it's a princess TV.
Yeah.
So I think I had actually one of the older models, like one of the first models and stuff. But
maybe because I always remember the Mickey Mouse TV, the red and black one.
Yeah.
Because I remember I had multiple friends I had that, and I was always like, that thing is loud and aggressive.
Yeah. It was a good TV. I remember watching the same movies, like...
Oh, yeah, because it came with a DVD player.
It came with a DVD player, and, like, at this...
I remember, because you had a DVD player.
Yeah.
And I had a VHS player built into my TV.
Yeah. Well, and a funny thing, too, is, like, growing up, we never had access to cable in our rooms. Like, we never could get, like, DirecTV in our rooms. Like, we always, like...
No, but we could occasionally get antenna.
Yeah, we could sometimes...
Anyone remember that, kiddies?
Oh, yeah, we could sometimes get antenna, but... So, we could not get, like, DirecTV or any of the fun channels. So, half the time, if I was in my room and I wanted to watch something, I was watching a movie. And when I was younger, I was so lazy that I would just put on the same movie. And I would just watch it like 100 times in a row. I'm not kidding.
You would watch Barbie and the Rapunzel movie on repeat.
Because it was amazing. But also, I didn't watch the Rapunzel movie because that was on VHS, Bill. I was watching Swan Lake.
Oh, whatever.
I was watching Swan Lake,
like
The Princess and the Pauper, all the greatest hits. Honestly, those are still bops. Barbie is Mariposa, the freaking fairy. Barbie in the fairy world. Oh, those are my shit. I still watch those.
The only thing I remember about those movies was half the Inuyasha cast was in them.
That's wonderful. That makes those movies even better. Wow. Those movies, Bill. I'm
pretty sure.
They're on
unrelated,
YouTube,
but I'm pretty.
And they're still.
I'm pretty sure.
No, don't interrupt me. I'm talking about Barbie movies.
I'm pretty sure that Sango was Barbie.
That Sega was Barbie.
Sango.
Oh, I thought you said Sega. I was like Sega. No. Barbie.
No, I'm pretty sure the actress that plays Sango was Barbie.
Yes, I'm pretty certain too. But you know. Those are my shit.
But anyways, back to playing.
No, let's just talk about Barbie. I just want to talk about Barbie. Should I talk about the other one I had?
Sure.
So
I don't remember this one, so go for it.
All right. So this other one I had was very unique to the other two because it did not have a remote, and it also was kind of shaped like an egg, with like a flat bottom. It was green, and it was called Jibby. And Jibby was kind of like a Tamagotchi. Except the only thing is it didn't have a remote. It was all voice to talk. So you had to actually talk to it. And so if you ever heard me just yelling in my room, I was probably talking to the stupid Jibby creature.
Oh god. I don't think this is what you're talking about.
What is it? What does it look like? Is it like a little brown square with hands and little ears?
No. This is like anime princesses.
Okay, no. Just search Jibby, the interactive friend that lives in your TV. Oh, that's kind of creepy. She's like a virus. She's a virus. She's gonna eat you from your TV. But it was like you could talk to it, and like that's how you basically interact with it. Do you see it? Do you see it now?
No.
No?
You don't want to know what I just saw.
Did you just see something inappropriate, Bill? Did you see something inappropriate?
I'm not sure what it was. I backed away.
Okay, good.
I don't even want to know anymore.
But anyway,
Continue on.
Anyways, I believe you could, like, it was like a Tamagotchi, so you could talk to it, you could play with it, you could feed it, and then also, I believe, it danced. It danced, like, it liked to play, it danced to hip-hop, country, rock, and disco, and it was all these horrible music, like, this horrible music made for it. It was awful. And then, like, you could also play games with it, like, there was, I think you could play rock, paper, scissors, and then, like, that game, like, where you had, like, the cups, and you hide something under the cups, and you had to, like, find it, you know,
yeah.
shuffle.
Yep, the, hide the rock, and then
Hide the
find the rock, yeah.
I believe that was it. Like, I don't really think you could do anything else. Oh, let's see what ratings it has on Amazon. This person said, neat little toy. Not always perfectly responsive, but still a lot of fun for my niece. Aw, that's cute. It's basically a virtual pet.
There was a lot of those back in the day.
This person said it was an underappreciated, underestimated gem, and it deserves better. But honestly, I don't agree, because look at that thing's face. It's horrible. It looks awful. And I remember it had the most annoying voice, too. It was like one of those...
Most of these things
like,
did.
It was like the super high-pitched, like, awful voice. I think that's why I also didn't play it a lot. But also, there wasn't that... Oh, and I also told your fortune. I think I would ask for my fortune a lot. That was the only thing I really did.
Alex, I don't know where you were looking up Dream Life prices, because this thing's going for like $20 on eBay.
Alright, well, Google lied to me. Anyways.
Yeah, I think it did.
Anyway.
This thing's not worth anything.
Shit! My money plans are ruined. Anyways, do you have any other? I have another one, but I'm gonna wait on it.
Actually, I think now is probably the best time for us to take our quick little break.
Oh.
So we will see you all in a few minutes.
Woo! Break time.
Bye. And we're back.
We are family. I think I've done that like.
So, anyways,
eight.
you had one more plug and play.
I did. So the last plug and play that I had was a 2007 Disney Hannah Montana plug and play. And I remember it because it was like this little stage. It was like designed to be like a little stage, and then it had a guitar with a little with a little clear globe on the top, and that was your joystick. And it had like 4 buttons. And what I remember distinctly about it is that it did not work for shit. It just wouldn't work. None of the joystick just didn't work at all. Cause and I believe it was just a bunch of like little mini games. But I remember there was like this open area that you could walk in, and like I just like was like I couldn't like get her to move at all. So I think I played it for roughly like maybe 5 minutes, and then like I gave up.
You must have got a defective one.
No, it must have just been. I mean, like they're crap. Like they're made. Like they're not made quality. Like they're made to sell for cheap. You know.
I'm gonna say, before we get into our next thing I want to talk about, we should probably mention how many freaking bizarre plug and plays there's been over the years.
Oh yeah, and also just the strange designs as well.
Oh yeah, well everybody remembers the SpongeBob one.
Yes, where you're literally just playing with his freaking nose.
Which, I mean, honestly, that one's probably one of the most hilarious ones ever.
Oh yeah, it's very like tame.
There's also the
not
Spider-Man one that's incredibly
phallic,
suggestive. Yeah.
That's just the best way to describe it. Yeah, the Spider-Man one was like, it's just like, no, like who designed this? Like,
see, whenever I think of the Spider-Man one, I think of JonTron's video.
Yeah, no,
because it was very prominent.
There was also there was a what was it? There was a, what's the other anime you really like? I'm brain farting. Not Fruits Baskets. Very popular. Dragon Ball. There was a Dragon Ball one. And the control was...
How did you forget Dragon Ball?
I was just... No, it's just... It wasn't that I was forgetting. It's just like, you know, like when you're like thinking of something really hard and like it just like it won't come to your mind and you know what it is, but like...
Yeah.
It just won't... It won't come in. But the controller was the little dragon. And I just like... I saw that and I was like, that just doesn't look comfortable. Like, who would want to grip
No, most
that?
of them
like,
weren't.
Most
of them weren't.
That's the funniest thing about them is like just the designs and how they really tried to like make them
Oh,
more...
some of them were great too, like because a lot of them were like just one game.
Oh,
so
yeah.
there was the Wheel of Fortune one, which had the wheel that you'd spin.
Yep.
Because that was great. Oh, there was a Shrek one.
Yes, the Shrek one.
Why? Why is Shrek in everything?
Because, Bill, Shrek is love. Shrek is
Oh, there
love.
was also a different SpongeBob one where he was in like his gym clothes.
Yes, I actually
like.
see that. That was the Fry Cook games. I'm looking at that now. But there was also another one that was like a...
I found the Dragon Ball one. That looks...
Doesn't
awful.
that look uncomfortable? Like, it's freaking spiky and like...
Oh, there's a Dora one where Dora's the joystick.
Yeah, that's... Oh, there's the one that's the Fantastic Four one, and that one's the most phallic looking, I will say. That one's the most uncomfortable placement looking one, I will say. And it's funny because it's in the same picture as the Spider-Man one.
Yeah, some of these are just...
They're both equally awful.
We recommend people just look up the designs of some of these things. They are atrocious.
They're real bad. Do you see the Avatar one? Where Aang...
No.
There's an Avatar one where Aang is the joystick.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't get, like, they don't think about this stuff when they design these, but then again, gamers are a different breed, and even then, the standard Atari joystick itself isn't particularly good.
well, and I also think, like, oh, that one looks strange. There's another Dora one. I saw the Dora one where she was the remote, but there's a Dora one, and Map is the joystick, but it just looks, it looks wrong. It doesn't look right.
So
looks wrong.
So I'm gonna just, moving away from plug and plays for a minute.
Yes.
I'm just gonna say this. Unless you're getting like an actual arcade quality joystick, most joystick controllers suck.
Yeah.
And when I say this, I'm talking like as a person who owns an Atari 2600 and does enjoy it to a degree, I'm never using the joystick controller.
No.
If you're gonna play Atari 2600, you're plugging a Sega Genesis controller in there because it works.
Yep. It's just
Because honestly,
a D-pad is just
standard
so much
controllers are just standard controllers are just better in every case, unless it's like a legit arcade stick like setup, like high quality and everything. But those cost money, and you can only really use them for like a handful of games. So
Did you see, while you were looking at them, did you see these, like, Sonic-shaped ones? Like, they were shaped like
those
Sonics?
those are bootlegs.
I would assume they were bootlegs. Oh, they're sold on AliExpress, no wonder. But I just thought the
those are
designs are
literally
hilarious.
I've seen the video. There's a YouTuber I watch. He did a video talking about a bunch of like bootleg little systems, and he had talked about that one. And it's literally it's literally just a Famicom clone.
What? That's hilarious.
And I don't even think Sonic's on it
No.
anywhere.
That's even more hilarious.
But it was a keychain.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But anyways,
just buy that
moving
for
on
the
to something-
keychain aspect. Oh, yes, you were saying.
Anyways, moving back onto like something that we did have. So before we get into it, I want to talk about a little phenomenon that we encountered with this thing.
Yes.
You ever had something that you swear to God you owned, like you have physical memories of it,
Yes.
and you have multiple other people that you know who also had it,
Yes.
but you can't find any proof that this thing existed?
Yes.
So, getting into that, we had I guess you could call it was like a karaoke machine in a sense, but it was it wasn't like a true karaoke machine. It was a cheaper version one.
Yeah.
And rather than playing actual music, it played MIDI files.
Yes.
But its whole gimmick was it had a webcam built into it, and you could like make your own music videos that you would record, and like the songs would appear on the bottom with like the lyrics, and you'd sing those.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it had a whole bunch of cartridges that you could plug in for additional songs. And I remember we tried to make amateur movies, and it was terrible.
Yep.
And I remember because it had Dancing Queen.
Yes, and I would play Dancing Queen.
No, you screamed whenever we played Dancing Queen because you hated it.
Well, no, the story behind that is that I was playing the karaoke game one time, and I put on Dancing Queen, and I was having the time of my life singing and dancing, and I was like probably like 10 or 8. I was a child, and Dad comes down, and he just starts making fun of me. And ever since then, I just hated Dancing Queen. But now I understand that ABBA is wonderful, and I'll just keep listening to them now. I don't fear Dancing Queen anymore. I play it in the car whenever Bill's there, and he just shakes his head. And then I skip the songs very quickly just to piss him off. I'm a great sister.
I always remember that thing because like we had like we'd have parties and everyone would be like, let's play the karaoke machine, and no one would want to sing, so we're just like, we're just playing with the webcam.
We're just playing with the webcam. We're just standing here and listening to the horrible sounding background tracks.
MIDI music. And it was all like it was all like the most generic like shit too.
Dancing Queen. Na, na, na,
yeah. Yeah, I remember a good deal of time with that thing.
Well,
I don't know what happened to it, honestly.
Well, and in my
Probably
search,
got trashed.
honestly, yeah. Well, it's funny. In my search of trying to find it, I found my old Barbie karaoke player.
Quote unquote karaoke.
No, it was. Except it had cassettes, so it ran off cassettes. It had 4 cassettes, and I don't remember the other ones, but one of the cassettes was from Annie, and it was the Tomorrow song, and I just remember running around in the backyard with my karaoke machine and just playing Tomorrow, and pretending to be little orphan Annie. It was like whenever you were playing with your friends and like you were like, no, you can't hang out with us. That's what I was doing. I was in the backyard with my karaoke machine. Listening.
Thank God we lived in a farming. Thank God we lived in a farming town.
But it came with a little microphone and a little headset.
Is it bad that I can picture that in my head and be like, yep?
You probably saw me doing it.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
It's not sad. Don't you? Tomorrow. I just have distinct memories of doing that.
What has this become?
This is probably our worst podcast. It's the worst one we've ever heard.
At least in the future, we're gonna have a comprehensive log of our childhood to explain to people in the future. So.
This would be like, all right, children, this is why your parents are so fucked in the head.
Oh. Well, anyways, moving on from that.
Mom, if you're listening, sorry. This isn't a good one to listen to. It's a mess.
Oh. But anyways, another classic. So, I swear plug-and plays were always like the, shit, I need a gift. Because they were always cheap as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd always get them for random gifts. And I remember I had this one that was like a paintball thing.
Oh.
And it came with this, like, fake paintball gun that had, like... It actually had, like, the air tank and the actual, like, the little cartridge where the paintballs go, like, but they were just useless plastic that didn't do anything.
That's sad.
But I remember the game was just... It was like a crappy rail shooter where you shot bears with a paintball gun.
Well, that's sad.
I was like, what? I played it once. I was like, what is this?
Hey, it was was a good time, I guess. I don't know.
No, it wasn't.
Well-
It lasted like 10 minutes, and it was like,
Well,
that's it.
it entertained you for 10 minutes. How about that?
No, it didn't.
Well, alright, it
It didn't.
entertained you for like a minute. How about that? You know, opening the box and the packaging entertained you for about 5 minutes. How about that?
Maybe. I just don't know. I also had this one that was like a driving, like, steering wheel thing, but it was supposed to be like a BMX bike.
Ooh.
And I remember trying to, like... You were supposed to hold... It was designed so you had to hold it like a bike, and the buttons were really awkwardly placed. And the graphics were, like, 16-bit, and it was terrible.
16-bit. 32-bit.
Yeah.
64-bit. Sorry, my eyeball is itchy. I'm itching it right now. You guys can't see it, but
Yeah.
Bill can see it. You know.
But I remember those, and they were always so... Eh.
Yeah. No.
But anyways, other than that, nowadays, plug-and-plays are still a thing.
Yeah. No, I was surprised how easily you can find them. I mean, like, you can go in the store
Yeah,
and
but they're
find
even
them so
cheaper
easily.
now.
Yeah. And
They're
some
even
of them are
cheaper
even
and
decent.
crappier.
Well, and some of them are good, though. Like, some of them are decent.
Yeah, but a lot of them are garbage.
Well, yeah, no, a ton of them are crap.
They
but-
look nice until you actually plug them in and actually hold one, and you're like, what the hell is this thing?
Yo.
But, so another thing that has kind of... It's kind of nowadays, now we have kind of an evolution of plug-and-plays. And that is in the form of micro-consoles.
Yes.
Now, micro-consoles have been around for quite a bit.
Yes.
And the first one I distinctly remember is the Atari Flashback.
Ah.
Nowadays, they're up to the Flashback 7, so that's how long this thing's been around.
Oh, wow.
But I remember the original Flashback was shaped like a 7800 and had, like... It had a mix of 7800 and 2600 games.
Oh, that's cool.
And I remember it did pretty well. It was a cool idea. Then they released the Flashback 2, which was shaped just like a 2600.
Mm-hmm.
Had like 2600 controllers. It actually had the controller ports too, so you could plug in additional 2600 controllers.
Oh, that's cool.
Or a Genesis controller, I guess. And it was just Genesis games, though. They dumped all the 7800 games, which was kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
But they were decently made, and they emulated well. And I remember those were kind of like the start of the micro console, where it was basically a mini console that had a bunch of preloaded games.
Yep.
And it was a good, decently made little thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then years down the line, Nintendo comes out with their own idea of this concept, with the famous... I guess we can say now the famous, the NES Classic.
Yes.
And this is where we kind of got the really in-depth micro console, where they literally took the system and made a miniature version of it.
Yeah.
With, like, controllers that are legit to scale. And the emulation is perfect, and it's like a great selection of what the system has to offer. And I remember because people went nuts for these things when they came out. Like,
Oh,
I remember
yeah.
you couldn't find them anywhere.
Well, it makes sense that they did, because, like, I mean, it was all the classic games for someone who's, like, not a collector, but wants to play, like, the games from his childhood. It was perfect.
It was. The problem is, though, that even collectors wanted them because they were cute.
Oh, yeah. No. You have one, right?
I don't have an NES Classic. That's the only one I haven't been able to find.
Oh, okay.
But, because of its success, though, it was quickly followed up with the SNES Classic, which I do own.
Nice.
And this one was amazing, because this one came with, like, a ton of classics. Like, it had Earthbound and Final Fantasy III, other known as 6,
Yep.
Kirby Superstar, like, all sorts of phenomenal pinnacles of the console right there. And the controllers were so freaking awesome to hold. Like, they felt just right.
Wow.
The system looked really cool. Like, me and Alex experimented around with one a little while back.
Yes. That's
And it was just
fun.
a cool idea.
Yeah.
And so, of course, that was also extremely successful. Honestly, probably more successful than the NES Classic.
Yeah.
Because Super Nintendo, NES is so overdone at this point that Super Nintendo is like something new. So then after the Super Nintendo Classic, then we got the PlayStation Classic.
Oh.
Now, the PlayStation Classic was obviously Sony jumping in on the trend.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, though, Sony
Didn't do it right.
really went about this the wrong way.
Oh, okay.
Sort of.
Sort of.
First things first, it didn't come with an AC adapter, which was really an odd choice.
Oh.
And then the game selection was announced. Now, the game selection is really fascinating on the PlayStation Classic, because some of them made no sense at all.
Mm-hmm.
Others were just confusing. But then there was, like, the hidden gems.
Yeah.
Like, the PlayStation Classic has Revelations Persona on it.
Yep.
Which is an incredibly great deal, because those things are worthless now. And you can find... And Revelations Persona is like a $400 game. So.
Yeah.
It also had Intelligence Cube on it, which is another hidden gem. That's not exactly the cheapest thing. But then you also had, like... They had a few, like, interesting standouts. Like, they had, like, Ridge Racer 4, Final Fantasy 7, which... It's Final Fantasy 7, of course it was going to be on there.
Yeah.
Wild Arms was cool. But then you had a lot of, like, obvious, like, missing things. Like, there was no Crash or Spyro, which was obviously because of the remake trilogies that had just come out.
Mm-hmm.
There was no Resident Evil 2, only Resident Evil 1, because the Resident Evil 2 remake just came out. You could tell a lot of it had to do with, like, licensing issues. And then there was other, like, odd choices, like Twisted Metal 1 over 2. Like, Twisted Metal 2 is just a better game in every way.
Yeah.
And it didn't help, too, that the emulation wasn't exactly perfect either. So overall, the PlayStation Classic kind of left a bad taste in everyone's mouth.
Yeah. It was just like...
Until people figured out how to pirate it.
Ah!
Because, well, not really pirate, how to hack it.
Yep.
Because once people figured that out, then people were all of a sudden, like, just preloading all these games on there, and all of a sudden it became the greatest thing ever made.
That's hilarious. The ingenuity,
Well, it's because unlike the Nintendo one, because Nintendo used their own proprietary controller ports.
Mm-hmm.
The PlayStation Classic just used USB.
Ah, okay.
So you could just theoretically stick anything in there. So people just stuck a USB stick in there,
Just like...
and now bam, it's got thousands of games.
Wow, that's actually pretty hilarious. That's so funny.
Oh yeah. It went from being this thing is worthless to this thing is what everyone needs.
Yeah, this thing can be anything you want it to be.
And then I honestly think Sony kind of killed the microconsole trend there.
Yeah.
Because after that, it kind of went silent for a bit.
Yeah.
That is until Sega got pissed off at this company called AtGames. Because AtGames is the company that made the Atari flashbacks.
Yep.
But Sega also gave them the license to make Sega systems for them.
Yeah.
Now that the Atari flashbacks were well made because Atari is so easy to emulate.
Yeah.
The Genesis is notoriously kind of a pain in the ass to get right.
Yeah.
You can emulate it easy enough, but to get it just right is not the easiest thing ever.
Yeah.
And they just had been putting out these piss poor, like,
crap. Yeah.
awful little, like, mini consoles for, like, years. And Sega finally got fed up with it and pulled away their license and then decided they were going to make their own microconsole called the Sega Genesis Mini.
Huh.
Now, the Sega Genesis Mini was made by a company called M2, who is, like, one of the greatest, probably one of the best porting studios out there right now for, like, old school ports of games.
Yep.
And the Sega Genesis Mini, like, Alex can attest to this because she got to play one a little bit, is a phenomenal little piece of hardware.
Yeah. No, it was really fun when we played it. I had a great time.
Oh, yeah, because for starters, like so all these microconsoles look exactly like miniature versions of their system of choice.
Mm-hmm.
And the Genesis Classic is literally, they took the Genesis Model 1 and shrunk it down, like, perfectly to scale. Like, everything exactly matches, and then the controllers are, like, identical, like, right on.
Mm-hmm.
And then... You good?
Yeah. No, I thought I heard something.
Okay, you're like wigging out over there.
Well, no, I thought like I heard a door open, but I know I didn't hear a door open because my door is perfectly closed. But I don't know. I might just be delirious from the cold. Anyways, I should go to bed after this.
The Genesis Classic is like from like point to point. It's like a perfect recreation.
I figured it out.
And then the game.
My nose is making squeaky noises. Because it's so congested, it's like making noises like when I breathe. So I keep hearing like a squeaky sound. It's like, it's over. But no, it's just my nose. Anyways, continue.
But anyways,
This
so
is a
the
disaster.
selection of games on the Genesis Classic is amazing too, because it's got pretty much everything a Genesis fan could ask for, minus Sonic 3 for some reason.
Oh, well, they tried.
No, I think Sonic 3 has some weird licensing issues because of certain music.
They didn't try hard enough. No.
No, I think there's something going on with Sonic 3 right now, but that's beside the point.
Dun.
That thing is
Dun.
also great, and the emulation is perfect. And after that one, I think, I don't own it personally, but I think the best microconsole was the TurboGrafx 16 Mini.
Oh, really? They made that?
Yeah, I haven't been able to find one because they're not super common right now. But that one I can see being amazing just for the fact that collecting for the TurboGrafx is not an easy task.
Yeah, I'm certain. I mean, especially where it's not like a super common thing either. Oh yeah, I see it. I found it on Amazon. It's not there's none available, but unless you buy it from like a third party. It looks like there's they made like a lot of different mini ones.
They did, but those are the only ones that I consider legitimate microconsoles.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
But following that one, then the microconsole trend kind of died off, mostly just because I think it was one of those, like, it was hot for a minute concepts, and then everyone kind of moved on to something else.
Yeah. No.
And I think what also helped was the Switch, bringing that up again.
The Switch, bitch.
And the Switch being the... Yeah. But anyways, the Switch being the versatile little console that it is, I think partially basically made microconsoles... they were a gimmick to begin with, and same with plug-and-plays to a degree. The Switch basically made all of those things obsolete.
Yeah.
Because the Switch is basically like the ultimate portable gaming device.
Yeah, you can plug it in, it goes in your TV, but you can also do it portable. It's the perfect combo.
But it also has a full-on NES library, a full-on Super Nintendo library. It's getting an N64 and Genesis library pretty soon.
Ooh, that's pretty sick.
It's like everything coming out for the Switch is basically all in a one device that's super convenient, and plus all the other games that we went into a few podcasts ago.
Yep.
So honestly, it's kind of like, I'm sure plug-and-plays will still be made. I mean, you can still find freaking Tiger Electronic knockoffs out there these days. But
it's hilarious. It'll be something that doesn't die, but I wonder if they have a one-piece plug-and-play.
Who knows?
I must know now.
So you can buy all 30 of them?
Yes. All of them. All of them. Let's see. I don't see one.
Yeah, One Piece isn't nearly as iconic as Dragon Ball when it comes to...
No. Well, it should be. They have plenty of video games.
They have a lot of video games.
They do. I'm like looking now. I'm like, there's a lot. Bill, I should play all the One Piece games and then we can do a podcast on it. No.
You need a couple consoles for that.
I would. I would. But it would be worth it. What do you say? Business deal? Shake hands? Yes. Good deal, sir.
Oh, boy.
What has
become
of this?
So, I'm trying to think, is there any other plug-and-play kind of things? It's amazing how much you actually used them back in the day.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, I played the shit out of Dream Life.
I know you did.
I played that so much. I mean, some of them were really well made. I mean, some of them sucked, but, you know, some of them were...
A lot of them sucked.
A lot of them sucked.
A lot of them did.
But some of them were pretty decent, so, you know.
Yeah.
It really just depends. I'd say if you're going to buy a plug-and-play game, do your research and buy, like, a good one.
If you really need one.
If you really need one. But at this point, you don't really need one. Just get a Switch.
Yeah.
Get the Switch, bitch. That's all you need.
I'd say that or get a Vita, but collecting for the Vita is not an easy task anymore, so I wouldn't really recommend it.
Nah, I'd just get the Switch at this point. It's easy, it's there, it's available. Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Make your dreams
All
come
right.
true. And then you can play all the One Piece games on the Switch, too.
Yeah. Well, we've pretty much gone completely off the rails at this point.
I'm pretty delirious. I progressively started to feel worse and worse as this podcast went on, so I think I'm going to go to bed after this, honestly.
Probably for the better.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, thanks for joining us again on the Gaming and Collecting Podcast. The Gaming and Collecting Podcast is made on Anchor Podcasts,
Yes.
and you can find us on all your major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple Podcast and Spotify Podcasts. We're also available on YouTube.
Yeah!
And you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Oh, what's the other pod thing?
Oh, we're on Good Pods as well, too. We're like I said, we're on pretty much every podcasting platform there is at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, guys, thanks again for joining us on the Gaming and Collecting Podcast, where we talk about the games that shaped us. I messed up our slogan right there. Great.
Where we sometimes talk about anime, and then we talk about... Oh, wait, I don't even know. I'm really tired. It's been a day. It's been a...
Thanks for joining us, everybody, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
As we implode into the ground slowly.
Yes. Boom.
And there's Canadian geese coming.
Oh, boy. I love geese. Until they bite
Oh, boy.
or steal your chicken.
I bet the mic I'll laugh if the mic picks that up.
Yes.
All right.
Sorry.
We've stretched this out. We've stretched this enough.
No. We got 20 more. 15, 16, 17. I can't count. I'm really...
All right. Enough.
Enough.
We'll see you guys next time.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.